Hello, everyone. This is Criminal Profiler Pat Brown, and this is Dear Profiler Pat, where you send me your questions and ask me for some advice, and I give it. And sometimes you don't send me questions, and I just use other people's questions from Dear Abby or Dear whomever, and I use those. And today, I want to talk about weddings. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. Check my playlist and all the different ones for the different areas of your life you might want advice in. And if you want me to actually answer your question, send me an email to profilerpatbrown@gmail.com. And in the subject line, put Dear Profiler Pat. Okay, the question is, Dear Profiler Pat, do I have to go to the wedding, especially a destination wedding? No, you do not necessarily have to go. And this question is asked so often, and people are so torn whether they feel like they have to go. But, hey, by the way, instead of having the wedding at a church down the street, we're going to have it's going to be in Hawaii. I know you always wanted to go there anyway, right? So our wedding's going to be in Hawaii. So you now have to come up with a plane ticket if yourself, maybe two people because you're husband and wife, and you got to go there, and then you got to pay. What's it running right now? Right now, I think I looked at some of the hotel prices in Hawaii right now. They're between $500 and $800 a night. So you're gonna how many days you're gonna stay? Because we're gonna have a great time, and you're gonna stay 3 or 4 days. So now you're like out $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. It's insane. And the gall, in my opinion, the gall to ask people to come to a destination wedding, I think it's appalling. I think destination weddings need to stop 100%. So if you want to go to a destination, that's called a honeymoon. Have your wedding and then go on your honeymoon. You don't need to bring your entire family and friends out to essentially to your honeymoon, because you're going to honeymoon there too, right? But you're going to make them come to the wedding part. And then what? How much of the honeymoon are you spending with them? You're forcing them to come to this. And usually the reason people pick a destination wedding is because it's someplace really pretty or cool, like Cancun or someplace in Italy and, wine country, or it's Hawaii. So they want a wedding on the beautiful beach, or God knows. So they want this spectacular backdrop to the wedding. And they expect everybody they know to drop what they're doing, to take their vacation time, to take their money that they need to spend on other stuff, to fly out to location so they can be there for the moment of the wedding. Now, I'm going to say, if you're going to expect them to be there at your wedding, they should be in your hotel room too. You want them there? Probably not. You want them to tag along on all of your events? Probably not. But then again, some people actually do. They want to have friends on their honeymoons. You know why? Because they've actually been living with that person for 5 freaking years. And so it's kind of boring. I mean, they've already been together alone. Sex on the first night is not that, whoa, so new. No, it's not. So you want all your friends to come so you can drink and hang out with them. Because you kind of not. The wedding's a little bit late, shall we say. And therefore, you're making the honeymoon be the occasion with your friends, not so much the actual wedding. But you expect everybody to come and spend all their money. Now, come on, guys. If you really want a couple of friends to come along with you because your honeymoon isn't that exciting because you've been together for so long, just have your wedding in your town, make it cheap for everybody, and then invite a couple of friends to join you wherever you're going. Say, hey, you want to hang out with us on, because it's not really a honeymoon so much. Hey, why don't you come out and hang with us? All right, fine. Do that, but only do it with a few people that you talk to and see if they want to go on a vacation. But to expect people to pay that amount of money to come out to your stupid wedding, sorry, that's outrageous. So my answer to that is no. And especially a lot of times it's not even somebody that close to you, which is what's crazy. It's not like your daughter or your best friend. It's like your niece. So your niece and your sister has helped her daughter plan this wedding in Hawaii. And now, she's like, you got to come to my wedding, my daughter's wedding. I came to your daughter's wedding. Yeah, but my daughter's wedding was like at the corner here. You expected me to fly to Hawaii? No, I'll just say I'll look forward to the pictures. And the person gets mad at you. Oh, they're going to be so upset with me. Too damn bad. They didn't consider your feelings, did they? Did you consider your needs as far as the amount of money you're going to have to spend for this nonsense? They didn't care, did they? So, too bad. Now, sometimes there are occasions where a person will have a wedding that looks like a destination wedding in the sense that it has the people that are coming to the wedding may actually be from the location the wedding's at. So let's say you did live in Hawaii and for all of your life, and then you moved to, I don't know, you're in California or something, and you met somebody, and you want, and the majority of maybe all the girls' families in Hawaii. So the decision is to have the wedding in Hawaii because more of the families there. That's fine. But don't expect everybody who is not living in Hawaii to be able to come. You can sometimes, some people have a separate little ceremony for the people that local. There's all kinds of ways to do that. I had a friend who, her daughter got married in India. Well, because she's Indian, my friend, she's moved to America years ago. She's an Indian American now. And her daughter grew up here and was marrying another Indian American boy. Well, actually, both of them were Americans. Let's put it that way. They both were born here, so they're both Americans. But both of their parents were Indian Americans because they moved here as adults and become citizens. And so the wedding was back in Delhi, India. And because so many relatives were there. So that was a decision they made. And I did fly to that wedding because I like India and I was going to spend the month in India. So it was working out for me. So I got to dress in all the pretty clothes and all that stuff. So it was good. I made that choice. But if I had told them, look, I can't afford to come to India right now, they would have gone, oh, that's too bad. So thank you. Thank you for thinking of us. But that would be what they'd say. They wouldn't expect every single person to be able to drop everything and spend the money to fly to India and come to the wedding. They just, were happy whoever could do it. And they understood that some people could not. So if you're doing it under those circumstances for some kind of reason other than it's really your honeymoon and nothing else, I accept that. And they should also accept that you might not be able to make it. And as far as local weddings go, do you have to go to every wedding? So that's another question. Sometimes people ask you to weddings, you really don't know the person very well. And you're like, if you feel uncomfortable going, just say no. Just say, oh, I won't be able to make it. They don't know what your issues are in your life. You could have you could have some kind of illness. You could have another event that's going to happen at the same time, which you have to be at. So just tell them you won't be able to make it. Send them a card, send them a little gift or something. But you don't have to go. If you're that close to the person, then you probably will go because you're very, very close. So, I went to my niece's wedding. I went to my nephew's weddings because I was close and I was also willing to. Now, all of those were out of town, actually, but they were where they were living. And so I made that choice because I like traveling and I didn't mind going. So, and it worked out and I shared rooms and stuff like that. It wasn't a destination wedding, it's just where they lived because everybody moved away. But my daughter, she had her wedding right down the street. And wonderful old, historic home that we rented. And then we brought all the food ourselves. We served it ourselves. We were our own DJ. So I cut the cost way down because I'm not going to pay that ridiculous price for some of these weddings. And we invited her fiance at that time was his family lived here as well. And so everybody was close by and everybody went. Unfortunately, that marriage did end. And the second marriage, she just slipped away with her husband and came back and said, oh, by the way, Ma, here's some pictures of our wedding down in Savannah, Georgia. Here we are. We're standing with this guy we hired off the internet. And they were like, the second wedding around, they're like, yeah, we're not going to make everybody go through all this. So they just got married. And they had their honeymoon right there in Savannah. Had a good time. And so I'm like, okay. Now they've been married now for 13, 14 years now. So it's all worked out. But one other thing I want to mention, because this is this big issue I saw, and this is against some of the people just do what works for you and stop whining about everything. Just say either no or just deal with it. So this thing came up where some of these destination weddings, one woman wrote, it was a People magazine or something, that people were very upset because she and her husband had the wedding something like at 11 o'clock in the morning. And then they had like a 5-hour break. And then they had the whole celebration thing in the evening. And she preferred to have that break because she just felt it was exhausting just to keep going. And they could just then, after the wedding, could go back to the hotel room. They could relax. They could take a walk around town. They were in Italy or whatever. And there were people were pissed off. They're like, no, that's not right. What am I supposed to do for those hours? You can't fill 5 hours of your life. I mean, if you have a hotel room, you can go watch television. You can do what you do at home. Read a book. You could go go to a cafe and have a coffee. You can take a walk. You can go visit some historic thing or a church or something. You can't fill up 5 or 6 hours of your life. And I think it's a great idea. You go to the wedding and then you take a break. And somebody said, well, what happens if that's in your own town? Well, it all depends. I mean, if it's down the street, you drive down the street, takes you 10 minutes to get there. You go to the wedding. Oh, that's great. You go back home or do whatever you want. And then at 7 o'clock, you show up for whatever else, or 5 o'clock, you show up for the dinner and the other excitement. Now, if you're going to have like an isolated church 3 hours away from everything, and then the wedding couple is going to like have a little hotel room and a little Airbnb nearby the church. And after the wedding at 11 o'clock finishes at 12, they're going to go off to their room and leave the entire wedding, bunch of people in the wedding, stranded at this church for 6 hours and have no place to go except drive 3 hours home and 3 hours back. Okay, that would be an issue. In which case I wouldn't go to the damn wedding because that woman planned it in a way that was disrespectful to everybody. But I mean, if it's right in your town, it's not a big deal. And if it's a destination wedding you went to, you can pretty much find something to do in Hawaii for 6 hours if you're in Honolulu, or you can just lay around on the beach, or you can go hang out at your hotel room. Such silliness. So I think a lot of times people, they just don't do what is practical for them and is affordable for them. And if it's practical, you have to decide for yourself. And if it doesn't work for you, you simply say, I'm sorry, I won't be able to do it, and send them a nice little gift. And if they're going to be dickheads about it, they're going to be nasty about it. Those are probably, wow, thank God I skipped that wedding. If those people aren't going to be nice about it, if they're going to, yeah, you found out, what kind of people they were. So I just think people need to stop getting so excited about these things and just be able to say no. And if you're the one planning your wedding, for God's sakes, don't have a destination wedding. It's rude. Have your honeymoon, have your wedding wherever most people are, and don't be, and if the people can't come, they can't come. And then you go on your darn honeymoon. I say, unless for some reason you're in that country or state because that's where everybody is. But stop expecting everybody to spend a fortune for your wedding. I mean, that's outrageous. I mean, weddings once upon a time were always down to the local church. They were small events. And some people just went to the Justice of the Peace. And now people want to have these $50,000 weddings. And, parents, if you're parents and grandparents, if you have somebody wanting to have this massive wedding on your dime, just say no. Say, this is how much I'm willing to spend, and that's it. So anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Put all your wedding thoughts, wedding issues, wedding disasters, whatever, put them in the comments. That'll be fun. I will enjoy reading all of them. And again, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. See ya.